Hi everyone, this is Ana Luisa speaking here from Some Studio Milano. I'm here with Marlon.
Hi everybody.
Today we are hosting another talk for our series Back to Materials, a series about biomaterials in collaboration with Isola.design District and for this occasion of the Dutch Design Week 2020. Today we are very happy to talk to German designer Philipp. Let's welcome him.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, Philipp. How are you?
Well, I'm quite right. A bit tired. I had a quite a long trip yesterday, but yeah, very happy to be here. Thanks again for the invitation. Very pleased to be interviewed by you.
Welcome.
Thank you very much.
You are very happy that you could join us. We actually met you in person back in the Salone Satellite, and we could see your projects. So yeah, we're very happy that you had the time to come. You also took part in our circular ebook, so it's a great opportunity for us to talk a bit more and to share with other people your vision and your project. So thanks a lot. Okay, let's start with you introducing yourself, your background, your field of research, so people can get to know you a bit better.
Well, I studied quite long product design, around 10 years, but in different unis and with breaks in between. And finished in 2009 in Berlin in the University of the Arts. And yeah, the main work was definitely Organico that I made. I have to say that before I started the bachelor project for Organico, I was already half a year working in a semester project on it because I was curious about the whole topic of sustainable materials. And I decided that I want to continue this for my thesis and invest more time on it.
Yes, so since we are talking about biomaterials such as Organico that we will go over a bit later, could you explain to people who are watching us what are biomaterials so that they get to know a bit more of your view on this type of material?
Yeah, I think it's a very complicated field, to be honest, and there's a lot of confusion. I consider biomaterials as materials that are based on renewable sources, like plants, but also fungus or bacteria. But there is a big confusion because some people, they define biomaterials as materials that can be broken down in nature and then they don't leave any leftovers or toxins in the nature. But I think especially if you dig a bit deeper into epoxy resins, this is really crazy because in the industrial epoxy resins, there are resins, they consider themselves bioresins, but maybe they are made of biological materials, but they are not biodegradable. And the same in the other way around. There are resins, they are biodegradable, but they are not made from biological source. So it's a really tricky field to work in. But yeah, I think for me, it's about renewable sources, to use renewable sources. But of course, normally these sources are also tend to break down naturally in the wildlife.
I see. And how did you become interested in biomaterials?
I mean, I think I have a deep interest in nature. I was growing up in the countryside, but that I was focusing so much on it actually came from a uni project where we were working with rotational molding, and we tried to imitate it by using epoxy resin or polyurethane foams and rotated them in a mold. And I was seeing myself in the workshop, completely covered with gloves, a mask. I looked like an astronaut, and you have labels in this chemicals that you have to use. They are warning you that it might change your DNA structure or stuff like that. And I would say this was the starting point where I thought, like, okay, I want to work with something that is maybe not killing or harming me and my environment.
Yes, yes, that's very interesting. That's reminds me the next question that we see nowadays that designers, they are a bit of alchemists and activists, because on the one hand they are like mixed in science with design, trying to find new materials, create new materials, and also they are trying to raise awareness in regards to sustainability and circular economy and circular design. So many new designers, they run workshops like yourself. So we would like to know if you see yourself in this way, like an alchemist or activist, and also what's the importance of workshops for you, since you also run some workshops.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think a lot of this kind of being an activist is just pushed by a frustration because we are not having the materials that we maybe would like to work with.
Yeah.
I don't see that it's necessarily the role of a designer to work on materials, but of course, we have a quite interesting tool set as a designer to tackle this kind of problems. Because I think especially bigger companies, they need such a long time of development and investment, to bring up a concept, and we are way faster in acting. So there I see a big role from the designers. And about the workshops, I think it's a really fast and easy way to spread information. I had the chance to be, or the luck to be invited from Cybex, for example. It's a German-based manufacturer of kids accessories like baby trolleys and seat pans. And the design team there has a deep interest in pushing their positive ecological footprint. For example, they changed already all the packaging to cardboard. There is not a single piece of plastic anymore when they ship the objects.
Oh, nice.
I have to say, still they have to wrap certain parts into a plastic foil, but by law reason, by European Commission reasons.
Okay.
And of course, if you are in such a field, you see how complex the situation is. When we talk about baby trolleys, it's about security issues. And so, but they really try hard, and I'm really happy that I could have this talk with them. And I think for them it was really interesting because I kind of opened a playground for them to expand their thinking,
So for this workshop, you actually went to this company and had a workshop with their team.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay, very interesting. Okay. And which response did you get from the team? Like they were more interested? Which kind of response did you get it in general? Like,
well, generally, I think I would say positive. I think they were really, they were maybe a bit overwhelmed from the amount of information. We were going through some like mini tasks during the day to explore circular economy, that they get an understanding or a deeper understanding of what it means. But also we were doing like really like wild exercises that are maybe a bit away from their everyday work, because a lot of companies, they also stuck in their daily routines, and then you lose a bit the potential of dreaming. And I think a big role of us as a designer should also be to develop utopic ideas, because maybe we will not reach them, but we can get a step closer to it.
Yeah, that's really interesting, and we completely agree with you. That's very nice, because designers, they can kind of materialize ideas and thoughts and utopias. So it's nice to share this with other people and get other people excited about that. And since we are talking about companies, we want also to talk about universities, the role of universities, how universities are turning to incubators to help students to develop new materials, innovative materials, such as some biomaterials. How do you see the universities in Germany? Did you have any support? Because you said that you did your project as your bachelor project, right? So how do you see the situation for the universities?
I mean, from the design universities, I
Yes.
definitely can say that the universities here in Berlin, I think they're both very good for also for exploring materials. Weissensee, the art university in the east part, and the University of the Arts, where I studied. But I think the most important role of the universities is to offer you the infrastructure to do your work. I think one thing I definitely learned in the University of Arts here in Berlin is that it's my responsibility to work.
Yeah.
So of course I get input from my teachers, and I get how you say, like, reflections of my work. Feedbacks, yes. But it's definitely my part to work, to deliver the work.
Yes.
And I think some students, they still think that the teacher is explaining them how or what they should do. Because I think we have some unis in Germany, they are structured like this. They are structured that you get a task and you just work through the task, and that's it. But I think, especially here, I can just talk very clear about the University of Arts because I studied there, is that, you learn to work your way through a problem by yourself.
Yeah, it's like you have more independence, although you have the tools to support your work, but you are like an independent thinker and researcher.
Yes,
more or less. Yes,
and I think I mean for certain problems, it's really complicated to find an expert, especially when you're in a field that is so new.
Yes.
I also try to get in touch with a technical university, but it's such a big institution, and this is a big problem because it was so long way going through their structures, and in the end, I don't know, I should have applied with a formula 2 years before my project to maybe find the right person to work with, and this is a similar problem than big companies have, like what I was talking before, I think.
Yeah, that's interesting analogy.
It's not easy to change systems, no?
Yeah, to break through
universities, but it's a good start, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I had the naive idea that I will just find a student from maybe also a master or bachelor degree student I can collaborate with from the technical university, because I was really curious about their knowledge, because definitely they know a lot of things where I have no idea of, about chemical structures, bondings, that I maybe go through by experimenting, but they can give me a very clear mathematical formula for it. But this was quite complicated, and I think this is the biggest challenge, to find matches.
Yes, true, because in this kind of work you need to collaborate, right? Collaboration makes a whole difference. So you need to find ways to effectively collaborate with other designers, other professions like scientists or engineers, whatever.
Especially in the circular economy, collaboration is always key.
Yeah, you cannot do without collaborating. And now we want to move back to the Salone Satellite, where we met you, to talk about your experience in this event, because we know that you were also one of the winners of the event's prize. So we would like to know how important was this event for you? Was it your first time there?
We are curious to know the project.
Yeah, and then after we want to talk also about the Organico project that you presented there. So,
I mean, it was the exhibiting, I think it was the second time. I was there the year before with my university. I really have to special thanks Ineke Hans in this moment, my professor from Berlin. She's a Dutch designer, and she's teaching in the University of the Arts, and she was pushing the university a lot that the students show their works in Milano, because she thought it's really important. So in 2018, I was selected for showing Organico there, because this was the time it was like finished 2 weeks before, I think. And I had the chance to show it there. And so I knew the event from the exhibitor point of view, but in the group of us, like of my university. And then I thought, okay, I will try in 2019 to go there by myself and show my projects by myself. But it was really helpful to saw it once before with like a backup and more people to support.
And this time that you went by yourself, did you think you managed to do a lot of connections, networking? How good was for you, like the feedback, the response?
Well, generally, I think it was definitely good for me to go there. Maybe I would, definitely I would do a lot of things different now. Maybe I would be even better prepared.
We thought you were very prepared, actually. One of the best prepared designers, let's say.
Thank you. But it was definitely worth it to go there. I was saying to myself that I would try to go in a 2 years with them again. I think you can participate till you are 35 maximum in the Satellite.
Yeah.
So I have, I don't know, like 3 years to go. So at least once or twice I should try to take this opportunity if the future allows it, if the situation allows it. Let's hope so.
Let's hope so.
Yes, but I made definitely a lot of contacts. Still, I am not too, good in managing all of them. I think I still have to create mailing lists, etc. But it was a great time, a great event. So if you have the chance, go there at least once.
Yeah, we also think it's very important for young designers to show their work and to meet people. And also talking about that, can you talk a bit about your project Organico? And if you have anything to show us, also feel free.
Yeah, I will try to open a little presentation to give some insights. Okay, you see the presentation?
I think it's, yes.
Yes, no.
All right. So I have summarized certain topics. I will go a bit through the raw materials I used for working. The experiments, maybe I kick them out of the presentations because they are quite many. Then I talk about the process and the synthesis of how this all works coming together. Okay. So the raw materials of the glue, they are casein and calc, or because I don't know if you see the words too good, but I think they are still in German because the main presentation was in German. But
no worries.
The other one is limestone. And those two, they are creating a glue that is a biological glue. And I was combining this with hemp fibers.
Okay.
And this is creating a flat material. Like maybe you could compare it a bit to fiberglass or carbon, where you also have a flat material, you add a binder and you press it.
Okay.
So then I was taking a closer look to the hemp fiber and to the plant itself. And here you can see how the stamp of the hemp plant is structured. You have a foamy core in the inside and fibers in the outside. So this is the fibers, they are wrapped around the foamy core of the inside. This inside material is called sheaths or herds. And by this knowledge, I was taking this herds also and integrating them into my formula. And I was able to create volume bodies from that, very similar to the construction of the natural plant. And by that, I was creating a sandwich board that is very similar to the plant. And this is actually the material Organico, this sandwich material. So here you can see that, like the comparison from a natural plant into a technical product, the translation, let's say, of the construction. And these tiles, I will also show them in real right now in a maybe bigger screen. I also have them laying around here. And then it was about how to present the product and how to, because I saw a lot of exhibitions where you saw material samples, like tiny squares, and I wanted to show a bigger piece that shows the possibilities of the materials. And here you can see some molds and how they were constructed. So the front side was always the same, the front part of the mold, and the bottom or the back part was a different one to exchange for the chair and for these panels that you will see in a moment. So here you see the pressed parts or the mold parts from the process. The small one here is the CNC machine part. And this is how they were coming out of the mold. You can also see that still the glue is based on water. So when they are drying, it's releasing the water and they are becoming a little bit smaller. That was a big problem to deal with. And also one reason why they are all a little bit curved, because this is taking the force a lot better when it's drying, that it's not moving the part in any direction. It gives more stiffness to the part. And these chambers that became very iconical for the whole product or concept, they helped me to press more glue out of the material to make it harder, and it gives more stiffness to the overall structure. So these are like a lot of samples and testing. Here you can see one, how it came out of the press, and then when it's cut it out, that there is still this leftover piece.
And all different colors as well.
Yeah, I was just working with natural-based colors. So the blue is a food pigment, and the other two, the green one has a little bit of color as well. It's not only natural. You can see that it's natural, but it's not only the raw glue, because when it dries, the glue, the binder that I use, it gets kind of bonish and it looks a bit weird. So I was deciding to also add a little bit of green to that one. And the red is, or the green and the red, they are both iron oxide. So rust, technically, different colors of rust.
Nice.
And here you can see the cut section, and very clear this sandwich material I was talking before.
Very nice.
And this is what you saw in the end in Milano.
Yes, I remember. It's nice. It's very nice when we saw it like there. It's even nicer than the picture.
Thank you. Yeah, and I mean, I have
you have samples. Yeah.
Yes.
So, but it's very. I mean.
Yeah, we can
clearly see that. And here I have one piece. Here you can see maybe in the light that this is one that has not this this structure integrated, and is not able to get such a smooth finish in the material, because it's not that this lines that I was adding, that they are purely decorative. They also have a technical component.
Okay. Yeah, but they look nice as decorative as well, you know.
Yeah, I call it a technical ornament.
Nice. Yeah, it is. And since we are talking about biomaterials and you are working with that, how do you see the future of biomaterials?
Well, I think it will become the normal. I think it has to become the normal. And of course, it's a long way ahead, but I think the future is actually bright.
Yeah,
I see big potential in bacteria. Also from some talks I had with teachers or professors from the technical university. But I think maybe at the moment we are very crafty and maybe arty. Of course, this will develop in a whole industry.
Yeah. And talking about the future, how do you see your work going? Where do you see your work going next?
I mean, of course I work on a lot of different projects, but with Organico especially, I was from the very beginning very open with what happens to it, because I was doing it as an ideological project. It was for me it felt for me like it's the right thing to do. It was my degree project, and I had the chance at the UDK to do a project that is, just what I want to do, because that's how this university works.
Yeah.
And I was not forced into any given structure. And for me, the best at the moment, or the best I could think about, is a collaboration maybe with a bigger brand to just push it to another level. I can imagine like car interior, for example, could be nice, but of course still in a concept stage, because I'm totally aware of how long it takes to get DIN certifications, etc., fire approvals, all these kind of problems. But I think this could be a nice way to push it to another level.
Definitely.
Yeah, we really hope you will manage, because it's a really nice project, and we know that is difficult. And actually, we often ask designers, what's your opinion about the difficulty of working within circular design and biomaterials or innovative materials? What are the biggest challenges for designers to do so?
Well, I think I was already talking a little bit about it from my point of view. And definitely I see the collaborations as one of the biggest problems, like to convince people to invest in whatever way, in money or time, to invest into such an idea, or maybe even you could say ideology, at this point, that they trust you and they invest into it.
Yeah, definitely.
I think at the moment, that's maybe the biggest challenge. I guess it will change, because you see a lot of progress in the movement of biomaterials.
Yeah, and maybe some companies are actually looking for qualified designers or professionals who can work with that, who have the knowledge. So, even if they don't have nowadays within their team, they might, look for professionals or designers who can bring these, like you went in this company and did the workshop. So I think it's positive, and maybe we are hopefully walking towards a more circular future.
Maybe one more problem I can see is that maybe too many companies see it as a marketing tool still.
Yes, that's the green as well.
They like to use the word sustainability. If they put 15% of recycled plastic to something, and this is pushed by the marketing, definitely. And they have to understand that it's going far beyond this, and it has to go far beyond this.
Yeah, and I think maybe they are not going to be able to, how can I say, kind of fool consumers and designers, because we are growing more aware of sustainability and circular design. So if you just tell me that, you are sustainable because you have a recycling bag, but your clothes are not really sustainable, even from the point of view of production, because there are maybe, people in other countries working like slaves for you. So this is not sustainable at all. So people, I think are growing more aware, I hope. And, they are not really buying this storytelling if it's so shallow.
But they still try.
Yeah, they try a lot, and they have very good persuasive strategies to do so. Yeah, so we are reaching the end of our talk, and I just would like to ask you, what's the importance of sustainability and circular design in your work? And what's the biggest challenge do you see for designers to help us shifting from a linear to a circular economy? I know there are two very big questions, so
especially at the end.
Yes, for the end.
Well, about the role, we talked already right now a bit about the role from sustainability and circular economy. I think the word sustainability is just used way too much, so it's kind of losing its meaning a bit, which is very sad. I mean, it comes actually from forest cultivation, sustainability, that you don't cut more trees than you can regrow.
Yeah.
And maybe we just expect too much from this word. I think the circular economy, on the other hand, is a really, really interesting concept. And also it's way more complex, which makes it harder to communicate, to explain it. But I think there is a lot more potential in the circular economy that everybody can benefit from, but also that we don't forget the planet in this calculation. Because I think that's maybe one of the biggest challenges, to find real prices for everything. Because at the moment, the way we are calculating prices is just wrong. I mean, it's just forgetting about a lot of aspects in the calculation. I mean, meat is definitely one example to talk about. I think the most obvious here in Germany is nuclear power, because in their calculations, they were giving us very cheap nuclear energy, but they were not integrating into this calculation the care about the nuclear waste. So this is a very dumb calculation, and I think our society cannot afford this kind of calculations anymore.
No, not at all.
And yeah, and I think what I was also like mentioning very quickly before is that one role of us as a designer is to develop utopic ideas, to also help people to dream. I think, we had this in the 60s, like the space age, where you had like really wild concepts from designers about the future. Some of them came true, most of them didn't. But I think this is an important role that maybe we can also find ourselves in.
Yeah, I see.
Very nice.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Philipp. We really appreciate your thoughts and your vision, and we are sure that people that are watching us probably appreciate as well. And thanks once again. And for the people who are watching us, if you don't follow Philipp yet on his Instagram and website, just please go ahead and follow up with his work. It's very interesting. And we will keep following up with you, and we hope to hear more news coming from you and your projects.
And to see you next year.
Yes, probably Milan.
Yes.
Hopefully.
Milan Design Week. So and thanks a lot, Isola, for hosting us. And thanks a lot. And we see you guys later on in another Back to Materials.
Yes, thank you, Phil.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.
Bye.